I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. Use hashtag SC2Remax on Twitter to ask your questions. So yeah, if you have any questions, it's the Q&A part of the show. Not a lot of topics this week. I don't think we've missed anything. If there's something we've missed, just go ask it in the Reddit thread. I'll be delighted to answer you. So let's get started.
I have a question, actually.
Yes,
Am I the
go
only
ahead.
one who thinks that... oh, I see.
What? That what? Go ahead.
You go first, Rifkin. You go first.
I was just going to ask about my mic. When we cast together, crackling then, or is it only when there's more people on the call?
I think when there's only more people on the call. I don't know why.
So I'm thinking on this. I have to do this with Zombie Grub, for example. When I'm streaming, I can't. My bandwidth is maxed out, and I have to get her to host the call. So I'm wondering if maybe in the future, if I'm ever on the show, we could try having host the call and see if that is the same problem. Because when it's one-on-one, it's no problem.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get when there's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could try next time. All right. Let's go.
So,
Yeah.
desRow.
Yeah. Sorry. What were you saying, NaNiwa?
Am I the only one who thinks that there should be more variety in the WCS casts? I mean, they should rotate more often with more potential people. Like, if there's anything it has shown, having a new other players cast, like Huck, etc., it is that obviously they are doing a pretty good job, right?
Yeah.
So, couldn't it raise the level overall if they keep letting other people cast?
I mean, yes, but I just don't think they have like.
Because if they obviously have the same caster signed for 3 years, then they have no reason to improve.
Yeah, that's very true, man. That's very true. But then again, like it comes down to like if they have the same casters, it's a little bit cheaper because they live closer and they don't have to fly them out and.
Yeah, but we have to have like something that draws people in, right? Like you have to have something fresh. If you have the same people over and over every single tournament, and there is no new attraction, then I think like it's harder to get new people in. But perhaps that's just me.
So you want new attraction? So we need to find more. No, never mind. Go ahead, Rifkin.
So I'm asking, like, NaNiwa, would you like any one of the like main casters to be rotated, like Calaris, Apollo, Todd, or Rotterdam?
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be bad at all. They wouldn't have to have like they would have to sit down on an entire cast or whatever. No, I mean like an entire day or whatever, you know. But like if people wanted to try, then they could like make them like send in a sample or whatever, you know. And then if they think they're good enough, then they could have them as like reserve, if that makes sense, and they can have like a chance to do stuff. So that people can bring new ideas, and they can always like have ways to develop as casters as well.
So I really...
But maybe that's just fantasy thinking.
I think it has merit in what you're saying, but I'm unfortunate from what I've had conversation-wise myself with some organizations. It's never going to outweigh the safeness of like protecting their brand with people they know. Like for example, it's really safe and easy to go with Roddy, Todd, Apollo, and Kalaris because they've been doing it forever. Kalaris, for example, nothing disrespectful meaning by saying this, but he's been playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm. He's been casting a lot of Heroes of the Storm. It could be arguable that he's not the best StarCraft 2 caster, but he's been around long enough that it's a safe bet for ESL to keep using him rather than bring in new potential talent.
But
so
I think we all know that StarCraft 2 is not doing the greatest, right? And obviously, if there could be better casters, because I think casters are one of the most important people in esport, if not the most important, to getting new people to watch the games. The casters are the people who like tell the story and they build the hype, etc. And if you already know somebody who has casted for as long as Kalaris has, for example, then there should be a motivation for him to improve. Instead of just saying like, hey, it's okay if you want to do Heroes of the Storm, you will always have a chance here to cast StarCraft for us. I think that's like a really stupid approach. And it's obvious that he will never improve as a caster if this goes on.
See, I agree with you, but at the same time, again, like I don't think for a company ever going to outweigh the safety factor, which is what kind of sucks. And I think that's what
I guess
creates
that
the old boy club.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest thing is like presence on camera. Like even if you have a good voice, like if you've never been on camera and it can be hard. But
Which is why I suggested that they have like samples, etc.
yeah,
I know that they did similar things for some other, like for GSL, etc. You know, in the start of GSL, I know that people like Kaldor and Wolf, etc. had to like, do like auditions and stuff like and send the stuff in before they get to like cast the main thing.
Yeah. I mean, I for one, my personal opinion, I would like to see at least somewhat somewhat of some experiments at least with it.
Yeah.
For example, I think Maynard has only shown greatness, and like it's just my opinion, not a fact at all. But I think he's far greater than Kelaris, and I think that would be nice to have him there instead of Kelaris. Again, no disrespect at all. It's just my opinion.
Challenger League was what somebody said in the chat, which is what they did, right? They had like Medals and somebody else.
Medals and Penguin.
So they could like rotate
really
the Challenger League around, and then like if they feel like those casters are good enough, then they can have a chance at the main station. You know?
Yeah, I don't know why they're not like reworking Challenger League casters, because just like nobody talks good about them.
Yeah, like they are way too safe in what they're doing, and they will never develop. Like you're just doing the same thing over and over, not changing anything.
Yeah. Well,
But Rifkin's point makes perfect sense. It's a gamble, but I think StarCraft is at a stage where like if we actually want to grow and improve, we have to like be willing to experiment.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are still a company, and that's their money, and of course they will do what they think is the most safe for them. Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's see. I think Zombie Grub's quite feisty about the subject. I asked her if she wants to come debate the other side of your topic, but we'll see if she's quick enough to respond. Jessica.
But don't worry, I have all the time in the world.
Yeah, of course.
she's picking fights with chat.
Oh,
classic
okay.
Zombie Grub.
Yeah, Zombie Grub is always feisty about chat. Rip.
Like the thing is, like, this kind of sucks because I definitely have a bit of bias on it, like a salty bias. But a lot of people, like, for example, if I got offered the chance WCS, for example, I wouldn't say no, but I'm also not pining for it because I know that the availability is there, and I really think Challenger League, to take it a step further, maybe this sounds crazy, but rather than just making Challenger League exclusively, like Nathanius plus blank, Nathanius plus Greetor or whoever, maybe opening it up to have a secondary English stream. And I'm not saying us as Base Rate TV, but I mean WCS runs secondary English stream, and that could be kind of the testing ground. It's not the face of it. Obviously, the main WCS stream is still the face of it, but you could that's where you could test the new talent in a live setting without taking risks. Maybe, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that makes perfect
But
sense.
then what would be the point of that as a viewer to have like two different?
Well, then
Some
if they are
people-
really good,
that way.
then people can bring like hype threads about them, and they will get attention, right?
Yeah, like here,
And
for
if they
example,
won't really damage ESL,
we would
which is the
do
point.
we would do the secondary English cast on the Easter Team Story Cup when Kaldor was around. And Kaldor, not a lot of people love Kaldor's casting. Some people absolutely love it, some people don't. And the people that didn't discovered Base Trade TV. So if nothing else, it helps give exposure to other potential, I guess, good or bad. That's up to them to earn, I guess. So that's why I'm saying a secondary English stream, it wouldn't be a huge benefit other than a safe testing ground for talent, I guess.
I mean, you would be casting the same games, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, there would be spoilers and so on. So,
But for
the part I don't like
example-
about that is that you're basically dividing the community to like, oh, I'm gonna watch this, I'm gonna watch that, and then they get like different impressions of the series themselves, and then it can be like, oh, here's a Reddit thread about, oh, look at this like fucking Dark Templar, he got stuck between two pylons or whatever. But the other guys who watch the other stream, they don't get that at all. So you can get like, different stories depending on what stream you're watching, and and so on. I'm not sure if that makes complete sense, but
It doesn't make any
yeah,
sense.
I'm just saying, like, if everyone is watching the same stream, then it's like, oh, this is where the shit is at. You know, everybody's watching
but
this.
if you have
This is
two
what's
different
going on right
streams,
now.
if you have two streams though, then they will obviously see what kind of casters are better at telling the exciting story, right? Like, it's important to identify what they are good at and what they are bad at. If there is only one cast, then it's not as simple, you know? Like, I think competition is really needed to improve in basically everything.
Yeah, but the thing is
And I
that
think, like, if they, like, imagine GSL, if they didn't have it so that there was new players coming into GSL and it was only the same people all the time, then it wouldn't be as fun, right? I just think that, like, the WCS casters are just put on such a, like, it's too safe. Like, it's more like a normal job than competing with casters, I would say.
Yeah,
But maybe that's just wrong
I agree.
thinking of
I
me.
agree with that, but I don't think two different streams for the same games during the same event makes a lot of sense unless it's like different languages. Because it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It's hard to explain.
I don't know. They added for a while for GSL, Rifkin. I don't know if you remember. Like they gave the clean feed to a bunch of people, and then like Winter, and then Tempo, and Fear Dragon. Like they all community casted GSL. It was for like a very short amount of time earlier this year. Do you remember, Riff?
Yeah, we tried to do that too, but we couldn't get the feed to work.
No.
The VLC players all gunked up.
But I wonder if they did that to like negotiate better salaries with like the English casters over there, because they're like, we can't replace you, motherfucker. Be careful.
I think the problem with this all boils down to, like, I agree with what NaNiwa said, where there's not a lot of incentive to improve other than your own drive.
Yeah.
And a threat job, as weird as it is to phrase like that, could be good incentive, and maybe we get better casters for it. But I think the sad thing is, again, there's no need to take that risk right now. It's not like anyone makes a thread every time WCS go lives that says, wow, I can't stand Nathanius into shitty casting. Like, nobody does that because that's not the case.
Yeah,
so,
but the case is also nobody saying, wow, what a great cast, right?
Yeah, okay, there's that side of it too. But I'm just saying, again, like, I personally hate it because it puts a skill cap on a lot of people like myself, or not a skill cap, but I'm saying like a glass ceiling, so to speak. But at the same time, there's just no way that they're going to change that. Like, I just can't see a situation unless 4 of the main casters were in a terrible plane accident. You know, like I can't see a situation where they're desperate to take on new talent.
Plane accident, you said?
Jesus, Morrow.
Do you know a guy, Morrow?
I gotta go.
Well, can't wait for the YouTube views. Thank you, Mo. All right, but yeah, no, it's
Just trying to save esports. Don't mind it. Take it for the better good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna change the Kelleris, Apollo, Nathanius, Rotterdam. Like, they're set in stone. They're like in the pavement or whatever.
But that's a really stupid concept.
Yeah, but they
like,
would have
having
to
the same people with no opportunity for change is like the dumbest thing you can do, in my opinion.
Yeah, but
because that means, like, no matter how hard Rifkin works or anybody outside of their circle, they won't get the chance, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also about like Rifkin lives in Canada, so he can be in Europe, and then like.
Okay, but Wolf was American and he went to Korea for a chance, right?
Yeah.
And I think Wolf, although he's not the best caster in the world, I think he improved a lot, right?
Yeah.
So if he can improve a lot, then imagine all the other people who want to be casters as well. I'm just not a very big fan of the way it is.
Yeah. Well,
but I guess there's nothing I can do.
Well, no, that bringing up the discussion was good. It's a good start.
I just want more Maynard, man. Am I the only one on the Maynard?
I like Maynard. I'm a Maynard hype man too. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of hype. But yeah, let's start with the Reddit questions. And actually, that's a really good question. We have one of the admins from Fragbite. Fragbite just finished another season of Fragbite Master, and I wanted to know your thoughts on it. What can we do better, and what would you like to see more, less of? That was his question a while back that we didn't answer. And then the follow-up is, we've always tried to involve the foreign scene more than others while maintaining a quite high price pool for an online tournament. What are your thoughts on that? Remove server restriction or be more like WCS? Players need to live in EU or NA. Personally, I think when they clashed a lot with, I forgot which, was it like Challenger or Rifkin? Maybe you remember, they were clashing a lot in terms of schedule with another tournament. Was it yours?
Well, one of them was ours, but it was briefly and it wasn't much. But yeah, there was a couple of clashes outside of that too. I remember having to pick and choose because I wanted to watch Nathanius. But I don't know, dude. It's so hard. Just the topic of scheduling is a whole nother point of discussion for StarCraft 2.
I mean, that would help their viewership, but other than that, what else would you tell them to improve?
So I think you look at, like, because the question's about like different players, North America or Europe or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You look at something like O Gaming's Underdog series. It's a bunch of French players, most of which are no-name French players you've never heard of.
Yeah.
4,000 viewers problem. You look at the EPS and other things, or it's got a new name now, but like there are all these region lock things that are not just no Europeans, but like nobody outside of Germany or nobody outside of France, and they still do really well. I think, as silly as it sounds, like Fragbites for viewership might just be that they do too infrequent, I guess, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they did more often, it wouldn't matter what they had for content, more people would watch it. Like, fight comes on once in a blue moon, and I'm kind of like, oh, cool. I got super like a couple days, and then I actually don't even end up watching the finals for like the last two.
Mm-hmm. So you'd want more consistency out of them instead of seasonal tournament.
Yeah. I think like lots of leading up to that seasonal tournament or something could be really cool, but it is like one of these things for me where I can't keep track of Fragbite because they're never around.
Mm-hmm. What about this other question with...
But how much prize money does Fragbite have?
They had a lot of money.
It was $6K for first prize.
Yeah, so then if you have $6K for first prize, then it's better to make like a European tournament with 2,000 in first place, an American tournament with 2,000 in first place, and then a Korean with 2K. Instead of having everybody play with lag and having no storyline. And then you can, from that, maybe do like top 2 from each region playing a tournament. Stuff like that, I'm way more of a fan than I think there is nothing to gain by just like putting 6K at first place, you know?
Yeah, I think a problem Fragbite shares with a lot of different online tournaments is that they kind of they follow the same like fucking like, oh, let's get all the top foreigners, we throw in a few Koreans and let's go.
Yeah, exactly
like,
my point.
They don't think about like, if I'm watching like, there's obviously lag problems. So if a foreigner wins, it's not like, oh, foreigner, we did it. Yeah, we beat the Korean. No, it's like, well, he won because it lagged. All right. Okay, next round, foreigner lost. Well, he lost because he's a foreigner. Like, there's no storyline. There's no hype. Mostly because of lag and cross-server, like all that bullshit. So I completely agree what NaNiwa is saying. If they got like qualification from one spot from like, or like maybe 2 spots from Korea and like 1 for Europe, 1 for NA, and had 3 different tournaments and then do like offline finals, like 4 players or 8 players, whatever, it would be much more interesting in my opinion.
They could
or
just
all European
have it in their
like
headquarters in Sweden or whatever.
Yeah, but
It's
watching
only like 4 to 8 players, it would be fine.
Watching like Firecake versus SoulK playing online is not interesting because of the lag. So Firecake beats SoulK 3-0 here, but I mean, do we really like go ape shit about that, or do we think that it was because of the lag?
Yeah.
I mean,
so they could remove the Koreans and only do EU and NA. Doing it offline is obviously more expensive, so they want to keep it online. And yeah, EU and NA I think would be best, right? Since the Koreans would lag.
They could do all 3, which would also be fine. But yeah.
I'll say even then, I've got a lot of experience. I don't even want to play like even though NA is not bad. I've had so many people over the last year tell me just how much they do not like. There's some players like Happy. You could offer that kid $1 million for second place prize. He still wouldn't go to NA ever. Like, there's just some people who just won't do it. So it kind of sucks that that's the case still.
Well, you can
You
do
mean
it like
you mean play on NA
Yeah.
or travel to NA? You mean?
I mean, like playing cross server.
yeah.
Okay.
But,
yeah, it lags a lot for Europe actually to
Yeah,
NA
it lags
these
a lot
days.
for us. We can barely play the beta.
Yeah.
At least I can not play the beta very much.
No, but they could just keep every match on EU server and let the NA players deal with the lag. Since
But then that's still that goes back to what Morrow said. Like, how hype is it to watch?
But no, NA players don't like that much. Like, who was it? Killister?
I mean, all it takes is a fraction of a second of lag. You on tilt for that game, right?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I really don't think it's laggy.
But I think it lags more for Europeans than Americans anyway, because you can at least practice on Europe, and if it's good enough to practice on, it should be good enough for tournaments too. Whereas for Europeans, we never play on NA unless we absolutely have to, and then it's like unplayable. And it's not just because we're whiny about lag; it actually does lag more, I believe.
I don't know.
Yes,
I'd rather
it lags way more.
I'd rather have NA play on EU and include NA than do EU only or do separate tournaments. So I'm sure NA players, if they really want the money, they could suck it up. Plus, there's only like 2 or 3 players that could legitimately be legit to finish top 3. Too French for that sentence. Anyway, moving on to the next question. Where is Sojong? Mo, where did you put her? Why is she in your basement?
I don't even know who that is.
You don't know
Yeah,
who that
me
is?
neither.
It's some Reddit drama. She bought some Esbenu shoes and then she showed it on stream, but she also had like a skirt so you could see her legs, and then she's disappeared since then.
Yeah, she's the translator.
Yeah, she's the translator.
Pro
Yeah.
League.
Yeah,
Oh,
she,
then I know her.
yeah, she deleted her Twitter and she hasn't been seen at Pro League ever since.
Okay.
She's in Kespa jail, awaiting her trial.
Oh, it
All right.
didn't fulfill her ladder quota.
Yeah.
So did she get into like some trouble or something, or did she just disappear randomly?
She's disappeared randomly, but she tweeted or she Instagrammed the picture, so she's still alive.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, it's probably nothing. She was probably like sick, and they didn't make an announcement.
yeah. So when you get sick, you delete your Twitter, Morrow?
Well,
You've seen the movie
I
Taken,
don't know.
desRow.
Yeah, I've seen the movie Taken. I really hope she didn't end like that, for her sake. But where is the potato cam, Morrow?
I think it's coming on the 29th.
Did you buy a second webcam?
Yeah, from Amazon,
Nice.
which apparently was a mistake, but there was 50% off, so I thought it would be value.
I see. So you're
Yeah.
gonna like grow a potato, and people are gonna see the progress.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like buy some place to put it, because I heard it was gonna smell when it gets old. I'm kind of starting to believe that too. So I might need to put some isolation around the potato, but yeah, man, it's gonna be my pet. It's gonna be on my stream. It's gonna be sick.
What the fuck?
Haven't you seen like Grubby with his like bunny cam between the games?
No, dude, I haven't watched Grubby since he swapped to Heroes.
I've
Well,
seen it.
Oh, so imagine, so imagine say like this potato grow over the weeks. The name and stuff.
Amazing.
It's gonna be amazing. Don't be a skeptic.
Do you have a name for it?
Not right now, no.
I like that the only reason you're getting into gardening is to entertain your stream with a potato cam, Morrow. I hope
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
I hope this leads up to something more meaningful than that, but we'll never know. Hey, Morrow, how do you play bio versus late game mech? Is it even possible? Question mark.
You can do that, but basically you need a huge 4-player map so you can kind of base trade or something. If it's a smaller map than that, you need to transition to Sky Terran, basically battle cruisers.
Nice.
So you can definitely play in late game, although you want to avoid it if you can.
Okay, cool. Question for everyone. What do you think of the overall direction of Legacy of the Void and the decisions Blizzard is making in the patches? Let's start with you, Morrow, since you're very opinionated.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Okay, fuck you, Morrow. What about you, NaNiwa?
Well, I was paying attention to the question. Yes, I think it's good that they're so active about doing patches, but I'm not sure how it works when they do the server stuff. I'm not sure why it's so bad for Europe, because I remember Heart of the Swarm, it was not very laggy for us. So that's kind of bad that we can't play it very much, and also there is not very much incentive to play it, since WCS is the entire year. So I'm not sure when they're gonna release the game, but
Yeah, their
I
timing
like that they're
seems
doing
really
a lot
off,
of
right?
changes
Yeah.
so far. I like that they are not afraid to do changes very often. That's always a good thing. But it's too early to tell anything important.
It's a little bit unfortunate their timing is right in the middle of WCS seasons, but I mean, they didn't really have a choice. Rifkin, what are your thoughts on the overall direction of Legacy of the Void?
Well, I just want to touch on something NaNiwa just said about the lag in the servers, because I've had to look into this, as for whatever reason, being the only North American caster, me and Zombie Grub constantly get these horrible fits of lag, and I am sure my mic is still making stupid noises, so it's a bit ironic right now. But you know, Emil, Take TV, like nobody else gets this like where we'll have like 40 network spikes for no reason, and we'll be the only ones in the game experiencing that lag. So I think when I inquired about this, I didn't get really an official response, but the point of it was more or less that they're betas as well as the beta game. So like these are not top tier quality servers. And that hopefully, as we get more into, they will perhaps implement something better, because it's affected us as well as the players quite significantly. Okay, guys, sorry, not the only NA casters. One of the. My bad, I'm phrasing.
Well,
but as far as the game itself goes, like, I actually like that they've been like. I don't agree with all the changes, obviously, but I like the direction taking them, testing things to the extreme left, to the extreme right, not playing it safe, but instead stress testing everything like you should in a beta. So I mean, I don't agree with a lot of what they do, because I think some stuff is unfair or some stuff is stupid, but I think that they're doing their job right by testing everything.
Okay. Morrow, do you have anything else to add on the topic? Did you figure out the question by now?
There was something about NA lagging, but I don't have anything to add to that. I like the direction they're going with Legacy of the Void, making it more fast-paced, you know, expanding and all that. I kind of agree with their way of patching a lot, but the problem they obviously have is that almost no pro players actually play Legacy of the Void. So I think if they actually they should probably put an effort into convincing pro gamers to actually play the game, which they need a ladder, and they actually need to fix the lag if they want Europeans to play. Because like I'm not gonna play if it lags like that, and it's not fun. If there's gonna be weekly tournaments with money, it doesn't matter, because it's not fun if it lags. So it's just gonna be like the NA players at best. I believe actually playing Legacy of the Void a lot. So I think that's what they need, because they're doing a lot of patches. But I mean, what are they basing the patches upon, except for, you know, no offense, but like Master League players and so on? It's not that great in my opinion. So it's the chance of the game being very imbalanced when the game comes out is actually quite high compared to Heart of the Swarm, where I think more pro players were actually participating.
Yeah, that's true.
I think one really important thing to keep in mind with that, though, is, while it's important to keep the game balanced on a competitive, pro players are like less than 1% of the play StarCraft 2. And while it does kind of suck that might not be they don't cater the balance towards it, you can't good for someone like Morrow, but completely fuck over everybody from Diamond to Bronze League at the same time. You know what I mean? And vice versa. So if it does come out imbalanced for pros, but it's balanced generally, I think that's going to be okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like are you really gonna call that okay if it's even more imba than Harder Swarm was at the beginning? Like for the first few months, like Innovation winning with Hellbats and then, Widow Mines and, then Blink Stalkers for a year. Like, in my opinion, I would like to see improvement, that it would actually be more balanced than Harder the Swarm was, that they actually improve and not go in the opposite direction. And to have it because of some silly lag issues that they obviously know how to fix, but they don't want to invest because it used to be good. So there must have been some cutbacks, or because there's no, ladder or whatever. I think those are silly excuses, and I think it's gonna bite us in the ass later when the game comes out, and it's gonna be quite the imba. That's my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Rifkin, I can't agree with you, man. Like, you need it to be balanced at the top level, because otherwise, watching TVT all day is not really fun, man. Alright, next up. Heart of the Storm is the most polished it's ever been. Do you think it had been released in its current form, it would be more popular today? And if Legacy of the Void can truly achieve a polished, balanced game by release, do you think it can sustain a larger player / viewer population? Let's go with NaNiwa.
I don't think the problem with Heart of the Storm not being popular is because of balance. I think it's more because of the... Well, everybody has said this for years already. It's such an isolating experience to play StarCraft in general. I think the clan stuff was good that they got that, but stuff like Archon mode and I don't know why they didn't just implement all the stuff from Warcraft 3 customs to StarCraft straight away. And also, I think the biggest thing they need to implement is something where you can watch other people's ladder games if you have them on real ID, for example.
Yeah.
I think that is an obvious feature for anybody who's seen League, Dota, Hearthstone, etc. It's just something that, especially in a game like StarCraft, would be incredibly cool, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
it would just make it a way more social game.
Yeah. I mean, the StarCraft is fucked because the engine, you can't make another engine that easily. And then the moment they decided to make Heroes based on the StarCraft 2 engine, they like double fucked themselves. Like, you can't even have a steady 60 FPS in Heroes because of how shitty
In
the
Heroes,
engine
can't
is.
you watch other players' games? Or?
No, you can't. It's just not possible. The way the engine is made is just never gonna happen. They would have to make a different engine and then port everything over to that. But I mean, Valve has been doing it with Dota. Dota is using the Source engine, and they created Source 2, and it's slowly being ported and being transformed into the Source 2 engine. So maybe one day, if
But
Blizzard...
you agree with my point?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like watching your friends and then just watching pro games and all that stuff in the
just
client.
imagine friends coaching each other in ladder games and stuff. Like, I think it would be a huge success.
Yeah. But it's not gonna happen. But to go back to the question of polished, balanced game by release, do you think it can sustain a larger player viewer population? Rifkin.
Yes, but for a lot of very complicated different yeses.
Do you want to elaborate or?
No, because my mic's just gonna cut me out.
No, you've been doing fine. Don't listen to the haters.
Come back to me later.
Okay. What about you, Morrow?
Yeah, I think Legacy of the Void is gonna be a better game than Harder Swarm, and I think it can sustain a better viewer base and player base. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be anything crazy. It's gonna be like Harder Swarm. It gets bigger at first, and then it's gonna decline. But it might become like a bit bigger than it is now. But yeah, when it comes to like balance and one-on-one, it doesn't actually make a big difference compared to what NaNiwa is saying. You know, the social experience is definitely what you're looking for in a game, because after all is said and done, it is a game, right? You play to have fun, and you want to have fun with your friends. So that's what they need to work on the most.
Okay. Next up, from Fear Dragon, I'm starting a new monthly tournament where all of the players qualify by earning points and money every week from placing high on the North American ladder. Is there a point where European players would be attracted to try laddering on North America if the prize money is high enough and you knew other Europeans were laddering on an A as well? I'll note there's a weekly prize for the highest names on the ladder as well as the monthly tournament. That was done with Shoutcraft, and there was only like one guy. What was it? Or I think no, it was Destiny's tournament, and it was Adominus that did it. That was the only guy, and Destiny 1 had a lot of money on the line.
It's the cross-server problem I mentioned before. A lot of players just won't. It doesn't matter how much money you offer. They're not going to go cross-server. It sucks. It's not their fault. It's the lag. But it does suck that, you can't. There's some people usually get to play cross-server. Period. Regardless.
Oh yeah, didn't Base Trade try to do something like that?
We've done
the European ladder.
We sort of did ladder heroes, but that was more Europe. Fear Dragon wants to do something focused on North America, but open it to Europeans if they want. And the sad thing is, I don't think a lot will want to.
But like, what does this include? Like, what he's doing? Like,
So
how does it work?
I can't speak for him. Maybe he does. Wants to, but the TLDR, from what I understand, is he's going to do it somewhat similar to what we did by ladder ranking, giving points/money each week, leading into a big tournament. So, for example, instead of running more qualifiers, you would just have to do well on the ladder for 4 weeks straight.
I'm not sure why they can't do it on like the Europe ladder, since Americans have better ping to Europe. That would make sense, but maybe I'm just
well, you
too
have to
selfish
understand.
there.
This is a very different case, though. Fear Dragon puts a lot of money into North America for North America. Like, Fear Dragon's a good guy, and I don't think he hates Europe, but his focus is on North America and giving all the North American kids a chance.
Yeah, I don't think many Europeans will ladder on North America.
I think like maybe the bottom the bottom 50 of GM might, just because they want some free money, free lunch money, but
yeah,
Whoa.
but the top 20 GM, they will probably not switch, I think,
Yeah,
because we want to play without lag and we want to get good practice. I would think, at least.
okay. Well, next up, does anyone think that Legacy of the Void is better than HOTS? Because at the moment I've heard that it sucks.
I wanna talk about the previous question.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
About Fear Dragons League. I think something better to encourage North Americans to practice is not through having, the ladder grind TSL style. I think what they're doing in Lotus, Legacy of the Ultras,
Yeah.
where you basically like take TV's tour, where you basically play everyone every day. It's like a super fucking grind. There's gonna be like a million games between 20 players, and they're basically, it's a round robin of like a 20-player group. So it's absolutely crazy how many games you play. I think something like that is gonna encourage the North Americans to practice a lot more, because then they get prepare for their matches and so on, and whoever does the best overall over a long period of time gets rewarded and so on. So I think that's more fun, and they get cast more games, get more exposure. So I think it's better for the tournament as far as money and exposure goes. I think it's better for the players, because they don't have to fucking all in to base style on the ladder to get them points, or abuse bonus pool system, or possibly win trading. I'm not saying they're gonna do that. I'm just saying you don't have to be concerned about that. So I think it's better to have a league like that if you want to achieve them actually practicing and so on. I think that format makes more sense.
Well, I mean, how did it go for your tournament, Rifkin? The ladder heroes thing.
I went surprisingly well. think maybe the only one who didn't do anything for all the weeks. And Snoot was a little bit late to the party, but he ended up being top in the last like 2 weeks. It went. I thought it went really well. We really wanted to do another one, but we got screwed by WCS scheduling, and and the fact that there was that whole diamond drop where folks like Snoot couldn't get into GM.
Oh yeah, that sucked.
So we'll do it again more, but I kind of agree with what Morrow said, because I know for Fear Dragon, again, its focus is on trying to help all the kids improve, not just give them money. So I think what Morrow suggested may be the best course of action to, A, get a tournament to cast, because for Fear Dragon he needs to create content too, but also to give all the players the best practice possible, force them to play against other really good players.
So ladder might not be the option, but a round robin league.
Yeah, and not to drive too hard on this, but what Morrow said too is with the ladder, there are things where you can cheat. We had to put rules in the ladder heroes where you couldn't use a Smurf to snipe off someone else's MMR. Like, you could only play on one account, and if you were found out otherwise, you'd be banned for life type thing. Win trading happened for those 2 Chinese players were banned season. I mean, it's terrible to say, but people will cheat if you give them the opportunity. If you do it the way Morrow has suggested, and like the way Legacy of the Ultras is structured, there's no option for that. There's no temptation for that.
Yeah, I think a round robin league would be a lot of fun, even though it might not get the most viewers, or he might not be able to get the most of his ROI. But NASL was a lot of fun, and yeah, hopefully someone brings along a good round robin league, because like it sucks a lot more to just be out 0-4 than to grind a lot of matches. I don't know. I like what Take is doing. Consistency is key, and Take is doing that. Alright, let's see. Why WCS don't want to close... No, am I doing this again? No, please. Okay, to NaNiwa and desRow. Recently, early Phoenix play is really popular in PvP on the ladder. What is the best way to counter this strategy, in your opinion, if you have an open Stargate on your own? NaNiwa, you're the one true god.
Me?
Yes.
PvP?
Yes.
Well, not my forte per se, but it depends on a lot of other things that are actually more important than that. Like, how do you open, like, 1 gate, 2 gate, 3 gate? Do you do Twilight at that timing, They're like... I like to describe PvP as like nothing is macro and nothing is all in, like if that makes any sense, because like it's more about adapting to your opponent. Like usually people say that Blink is good against Phoenix and stuff like that, but there is so many things in between. But I guess one rule when playing as Phoenix is that you can usually expand pretty fast. So if you just want the general way of playing as Phoenix, I would just say expanding as soon as you can, and then just playing defensively. I guess that's the easiest way to put it. I don't think I'm a PvP expert by any means, so perhaps you can enlighten us, desRow.
Oh no, your answer is always better than mine, man. Next up. NaNiwa, when do you think you will be attending major and minor events?
If anything, I will go to Valencia, no matter how bad of a shape I am in. I'm just suffering from some PvP stress. I'm not even joking.
Ah, yes, the PvP stress.
Like, whenever I play PvT, I'm like, okay, this makes sense. I'm gonna make some Colossus, get some Storm. I'm gonna feedback some Ghost, and maybe I will win. Then I play against Surg, and I'm like, yeah, okay, let's get some Blinkstalker, some Colossi. And then it's PvP, it's like, oh, that's cool. There was 3 Stargates in the corner. And now he has 12 Void Rays and he's coming to kill me. I'm like, well, I didn't see that one coming. Aren't you a jokester?
What fucking build proxies 3 Stargate?
It's really good
It's
build.
like, what the fuck? Who are you playing against?
Yeah.
No, it's a really good build.
No,
man.
it's like a legitimate thing, you know. Right?
I've never seen anyone do that. I've cast like a
desRow,
gajillion
right?
PvPs.
No, I've seen it before. And
Yeah, many times.
yeah. But
like it's like you play like 10 games, you know, you're like having a decent time, you're like, I got this PvP thing now, and then you're like, wait a minute, where's his army? And then from the corner of the map, 12 Void Rays, they fly into your mate and they click your base.
That blows my... I've seen so many Arthur and Gung Fu Bandit games, I would just assume that that's cheese. I've seen it in PvP.
But yeah, it's like, and then there's like the whole dilemma of like, okay, will my opponent make probes or not now? Or will he just randomly make 35 Blinkstalkers and blink on top of me and hope that I didn't make units? There's just so many things that, like, I'm a very logical person when it comes to games like this. Like, I should follow these steps, you know, to do well, but there is so many corners to cut in PvP that it just drives me crazy. And it's affecting all my other plays as well, which is the problem. Like I win 10 PvCs in a row and then I get a PvP and I'm like scarred for the day. So it's... I don't know how to fix it. It's been the same for like 2 years now. So yeah.
But
I don't know.
if we look at if we put a little bit of perspective on what you're saying, NaNiwa, it kind of sounds like everyone is stressed when they're playing versus Protoss, no matter which race you play. Do you think there's a problem with our race?
Well, I think PvT and PvC are pretty fun matchups. Otherwise, I would have not played Protoss, obviously. But yeah, obviously it is possible to be consistent in PvP, like parting, etc. They win a lot more than they lose, right? So, so obviously I'm not grasping some of the things. That's all there is to it.
Yes. Okay. Next up, Rifkin, you said on stream that you are now talking to Blizzard about getting a license for the Toronto tournament. How does that affect the Bay Street brand of casting, and what are the advantages of getting a license?
I was the first one I didn't get to mute the whole show. Sorry about that. It's not. It's because Blizzard actually approached us about it, and in most normal cases, the license doesn't exactly sign away your creative freedom that you have to work with Blizzard. Like, for example, I can no longer, like, in a normal circumstance, longer just simply throw up a graphic on the screen. I would have to get permission from Blizzard to show a cat GIF, and they'd have to give it back to me, and then I could use it. There's lots of little things like that that start coming into play, which is why we didn't want the license originally. But after talking with them, it seems like, and this isn't a guarantee, but there's potential that we may be able to keep creative freedom while working. If that's the case, I'm all cool with getting a license. But I don't want them controlling the event, you know what I mean? Like, it's our event, and I don't want anyone to take that away from us.
Next up, that's a question for me, but it's a decent question, so I'll answer. desRow, yo man, what was the behind-the-scenes shenanigans dealing with you and Lycan introducing your talk shows at the same time 2 weeks after Shenman got wrecked and quit his show? Alright, so once upon a time, Red Bull Atlanta happened, and a very ambitious new in the scene, Lycan, Jared, went to Red Bull Atlanta, and you know, he was building up his network. He was talking to Destiny, he was talking to me, and you know, he was trying to you know, make a few connections and so on. And he for like the longest time, I always wanted to be like consistent on a talk show. You know, I told Chanman, if you ever need someone, even though like I wasn't a really good candidate, you should ask me. And then eventually what ended up happening, Arstem kept telling me, like, we need someone to do a good talk show. That's what Arstem was telling me, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, I really want to make one. And so Lycan told me that, and then he wanted Destiny on board, and so I was like, well, I don't know if I want to commit to having like 3 hosts, because that's a lot of people, you know, and then it doesn't leave a lot of options for guests. And so at that point we parted ways. and he chose Destiny, and I chose Feed Me, which everyone knows that was quite the mistake. It was a few bumpy roads in the beginning, but it led up to a pretty awesome talk show. And then we picked up when we asked Huck, he was like, "I'm not gonna come on to be a guest. If I come on, it's to be a host." He was very demanding, as you all know, Huck is, and that's all history. That's how it happened. Of me and Lycan starting a talk show at the same time, like a rivalry.
I don't want to pry into drama that maybe doesn't need to be rehashed, but I didn't watch the first few episodes of Remax, to be honest.
Yeah.
What ended up happening with you and Feed Me? I just remember lots of people saying drama.
Yeah, so Feed Me was like a little bit difficult to work with because he wanted me to do everything, even though like I felt like he needed to make a bunch of work. And back then,
Hold on a minute here.
What?
Feed Me is in the chat.
Is he? Oh, he's been timed out.
What are you talking about? I chose you.
Why are you timing him out?
I don't know who timed him out.
Now we can't fucking trust you because you're fucking silencing the other voice, dude.
No, my man. Anyway,
Should
so
I was gonna say desRow.
no. So like one day,
Desrow's making me look up child porn, and I didn't agree to that. And then desRow didn't want to work with me afterwards. Like we don't know if that's decided.
You're making Kung Fu
Sorry?
Panda feel right at home here now.
all right. So
Silencing the critics.
all right. So anyway, so what happened is someone on Twitter made a bad joke at me, and then I vented to Feed Me. I was like, "This person's horrible," and then I said like the worst thing you could ever say to someone, like behind their back to him. And then at that point, he tapped out. He's like, "Yeah, I'm fucking done with you," and then he left the show. But it worked out because not a lot of people enjoyed Feed Me's contribution to the scene outside of his intro or promotional videos, you know. But he's a cool guy deep down somewhere inside. I'm sure there's a nice Feed Me somewhere to be found, but you know, sometimes it doesn't work out. Anyway, next up, question: what do each of you plan to do to help grow the StarCraft 2 community? Let's start with Morrow. And no, we're not talking about your fucking potato cam.
Wait, what I'm doing to what? Improve the
Grow
scene?
the scene, man.
To grow the StarCraft 2 community.
What I'm doing?
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, I'm
What are you doing?
I'm
Growing a
dreaming about all this
potato?
fucking show, man. Giving you all the insight and all the good stuff.
You're like NaNiwa's fat friend, dude. You're just here to make him look better, right?
Oh my
Well,
god.
I mean, like Morrow,
Oh shit.
you could have said like I do a lot of nice commentary on my stream, and a lot of Terrans
can't
learn
believe
from
you
me.
said
But then
Yeah,
instead,
yeah, exactly.
fuck you, Morrow. I gave you
That's
the
what I
answer. No, fuck you. You can't use that.
Well played, Rifkin. Well played.
Sorry, Morrow.
I took a map of Korean this year. I got one 1-2 against Young. So you know, fighting the good fight.
Nice.
Nice. Okay, what about you, NaNiwa? What do you do to grow the StarCraft 2 community?
Well, to grow the community, what I first did was I came back to the game, and then I scammed them all for donations.
I returned. I
I've
blessed
returned.
everybody with my presence.
Yes, exactly like that.
Blessed by NaNiwa,
Unfortunately,
the savior.
yes, I thought I would be the savior, but I was even worse than I thought. It's hard with play StarCraft. So I guess my first goal is to be not terrible at the game. And then I will think about contributing to the scene.
Mm-hmm. That's great. What about you, Rifkin? What do you do to help grow the StarCraft community?
Except for being fat, of course.
I just collect those fat stacks of bills every week, dude.
Oh my god.
Morrow, my man.
So salty. Oh my god.
No, I'm just saying, he's just helping everyone out.
I love that this discussion probably could have been something serious, but we all just. I plan to start a weekly talk show to contribute to the scene.
Oh,
I'm
my
going to have
man.
it on Tuesdays at Pacific Standard Time.
Well, I mean, you know.
Oh, sorry, do you
Wait,
not?
you're gonna have a talk show?
Do you not want me to contribute to the scene, desRow?
But no, I mean, like, I know what
Yeah,
you're
I wanna
contributing
get
to
on
the
your talk
scene.
show.
No, I know what you're contributing to the scene, but maybe some people don't know, so you can tell them about base trade.
Okay. Well, I cast StarCraft 2 almost every day, and I try to bring a high quality cast. And even if people don't like the casting, at least they'll have a high quality stream they can mute and enjoy. There you go.
Yes.
We create a lot
I
of
think
tournaments.
Base Trade is doing a fine job, I must say.
Oh,
When
to
I
have
came
such
back,
words
I
from a
was very
god.
impressed.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh wow, you got the blessing of the church, man.
NaNiwa,
Well,
let's
But it's
go,
actually
let's
true.
go Rifkin,
Base Trade hasn't been
talk
around
show.
for that long, right? Like
No,
super
we're
long
still
time is, but
we're still young, man. Like compared to most.
yeah,
Yo.
because I don't remember you guys when I left, so it was cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Sure.
Yo, Morrow, why do you want to ditch me for base trade when he just insulted you like 5 minutes ago? You
Oh,
fuck-
it's okay, man.
See-
Yeah, Rifkin.
That's how bad it is, bro.
What? You have no loyalty, Morrow. You fucking ginger.
He gave me $50, man. He donated $50. How much did you donate?
$50 for.
No, I earned that through hard work. But he donated it to me.
That's so true.
I like this Rifkin guy a bit more.
Wait.
You
Yeah. How
got,
many times have you hosted
Wait
Morrow,
a
desRow?
second.
Just
Rifkin,
curious.
you donated $50 tomorrow.
I host him often.
$50.
Dude, I'm pretty sure. Didn't I give
I got
you?
$5.
No, I gave you more money than Morrow that one day, and I was like, "Tell Morrow you have his money or something."
Give me $5. And he got 50.
He needs
suck
it.
it.
He needs it more, dude. He's living in your shadow.
God.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, living in
you
your shadow
saw
is
that.
really hard, man.
Steal
I
all,
thought
man.
you as a fellow streamer knew how bad ad revenue is now. Oh my god.
Oh god, dude. It is lately. Like I keep hearing all these stories of people who like used to stream in 2012 making like hundreds of dollars. I'm like, fuck, if we can make $100 like a week, that'd be great.
Man, I
Like,
made $1,000 off of 500 average in 2011, man. I was
Yeah, that's
living the
crazy.
dream. I was living
you
the
could
dream.
never, you could not do that now. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, I streamed in 2012 or 11 in December, and I made $1,000 every day.
That's insane. Yeah,
And
for
now I make 10. 10 Rifkin.
I know, and like the most depressing part is Twitch reminds you, and like big bold for those who aren't partnered, if you go to Twitch streamers, they have this thing at the top. It's like, remember, don't get paid unless you make at least $100. It's like that reminder, like you're getting paid shit. You may not even get anything.
No. But to finish answering the question, what do I do to grow the scene? I used to make a bunch of guides, but I've slowed down now because the amount of people that want to learn StarCraft is a little bit smaller. But I'll start again, and then obviously the talk show is great, and it's, you know, growing the scene. There's a lot of things you can do, even if you're not popular and you can't do a talk show. You can do a lot of things. Be active on Reddit and so on. So everyone can do their own things to help the scene grow. Let's see.
If I could,
Yeah.
I just want to add something to that.
Yeah.
Like this sounds so fucking cheesy and lame and like and special, but I'm dead serious when I say this, guys. I've said it before. I think not just on Remax, but on like anywhere else I've been. If you don't need to be a content creator, you don't have someone who puts on a show or casts or even plays the game, but just taking 2 seconds to like upvote a good post or not, like just to contribute. There's so many people I know, and I'm guilty of this a lot of the time too, where I'll see a really good Reddit thread and I won't even touch it. Oh, that was a cool video. Next. But like taking the extra second to upvote it or leave a nice comment for like creators, I can't begin to stress how far that goes. Like there have been some days been in like the worst fucking foulest mood, and I'll read like PM someone sent me from like a week ago, and just, I don't know, energize me.
Yeah.
So again, like small little things as fans can go a long fucking way to help contribute to the scene. It might not seem like it and stupid, but believe me, it goes a long way.
Yeah, that's very true, man. Like sometimes I like put in a lot of work into a video and then I try to post it on Reddit and then there's like 2 comments and no upvotes and I'm like, my man, what happened here? So and then yeah, all the messages like I don't know if you guys read your Twitch inbox. Sometimes there's a lot of shit like, why was I banned? But a lot of times there's like a guy that like writes you a very long message and he's so fucking nice and then you're like, oh my man, why are you so nice? And then Yeah, so there's a lot of things you can do. Good call, Rifkin, or a good addition to the discussion. All right, let's jump into the Twitter questions real quick. Let's see if there's anything worth mentioning. Let's talk about the desRow fighting losing passion and not hosting a SC2Remax last week.
Oh,
My
wait, you're teaching StarCraft at desRow now? Was that what you were saying?
What? What? No.
When
No.
should I gate, Des? 13 or
Never
11?
mind then.
It depends on what you want to do.
Des, should I
What?
put my gate down at 11? Hurry up, I'm on my 9th probe. I'm running out of time.
Stop. Let's see.
I'll see a simple question like that. How good can your guides be?
How good are my guides? They're based off of pro build orders.
Oh,
like-
you make guides. Maybe I
Yes.
should make guides.
Well, yeah, you can do that.
Oh, donation goal. Great idea, desRow.
Selling out with NaNiwa every day.
Let's see. There's not a lot of good questions on what is love, guys. Rifkin, what is love?
What is life?
Baby, don't hurt me.
No, like
Don't hurt me. No more.
Head away. Was the answer, desRow. Head away.
no one want. Okay. What do you think about Morrow versus Myonsik game and Pro League? Did anyone
Yes,
remember?
Morrow. What is your opinion about this?
Okay,
That-
guys.
Let me
Game
remind
on-
you that you're under oath in this talk show.
That's
Guys, it's
oh,
yeah. Well, that's
but
what I.
it was a game on Deadwing, right?
Yes, he was 10,000 resources down.
Yeah.
Go on.
So basically, a kid like a ton of medevacs, and then he killed Morrow's main army, and then they decided not to attack. So Morrow rebuilt his army. Then he tried again, and eventually it worked. And then Myungsik died. So what we can learn from that game is that when you kill about 120 supply of Terran, what you should do is that you should try to find an opportunity to close out the game when you're ahead, instead of letting Morrow come back into the
I
game.
just have one question though.
Okay.
During Morrow's 3 medevac drops with 4 Widowmans each, how many pros did he kill?
I don't know, 0.
Yes. The answer is 0.
Okay.
Did he win the game?
Yes.
No further questions there.
But like, if you get ahead, like if you get ahead and you're like, oh, I'm ahead, I'm gonna go make a sandwich right back, and then you come back like, oh, he has a new army. Oh my god, what happened? And then he comes back and wins. Like, no, you need to capture the opportunity, use the advantage to your advantage. Otherwise, you might not as well even have an advantage. You know, so you finish the game. But he didn't do that. He didn't upgrade charge either. So Myungsik, I hate to say it, but he played worse than Morrow. Even though he played better than Morrow for 80% of the game, Morrow played like as soon as Morrow got ahead and killed all those Colossi and all those Phoenixes by those like few Widowmines, he immediately took the opportunity to finish the game. Whereas Myungsik failed to do that. So at the end of the day, Morrow wins because of that. It's Myungsik's fault.
Would you say outskilled, outplayed?
Yes, outskilled, outplayed.
Outraced.
Yeah. I mean, it's true though. When you do like kill everything, you have to do something about it. Can't just sit back.
All right, guys. This question is weird. This is the last question. What are your thoughts on the StarCraft 2 crowds or live audiences? Should we try to force this idea that we're supposed to have a soccer-style crowd cheering and doing Mexican waves when StarCraft 2 in the long run will hardly ever put asses in seats except for specific events? Why not expect people to golf clap for studio stuff like WCS? Isn't StarCraft 2 more akin to chess than to soccer? How does it make sense that we're supposed to cheer like it's a physical struggle rather than a mind-based activity? The fake hype and casters looking for a good crowd is so unrelated to the actual game we're watching most of the time, in my opinion.
I agree with like 90% of what that guy said.
I disagree a lot with that.
Like, like I don't think okay, first off, a physical accomplishment versus a mental accomplishment, like there is not a fair distinguishing difference between. Watch somebody get the world record speedrun for Mario, and watch somebody go fucking nuts. That's like a mental accomplishment, right? How's that any better or worse than somebody who kicks a soccer ball through a hole? Like it's so unfair to even try to.
So you like when people go ham instead of golf clapping?
I think golf clapping has its place. Like if something kind of cool happens and it's not super hype, like it's just like, yeah, cool. But like I think if someone's doing something crazy and you're watching partying blink stalkers in impossible ways that no one else can, like you should go fucking ham, especially if you're cheering for partying.
Yeah, like watching WSS NA. It's kind of sad that they didn't learn from last year, you know, with the very small crowds, and they capture like the sounds where it's like two guys sitting there like, oh yeah, it's like that it really fuels the dead game thoughts that everyone is having. Then they might as well just not have a crowd at all, or just not capture the sound of it, because it kills so much of the hype. Like this is not golf we're playing. I don't know why they do that in golf, but I don't like it.
So you'd rather have no crowd than a shitty crowd?
Yeah, for like WSS NA in their studio, yes, for sure. Even for WSS Europe too. I think that's also a bit. I find it kind of awkward to have like a crowd of like 10 people.
I think as well is like, StarCraft is really fast paced. It might not seem like at first glance, but StarCraft is really fast paced compared to most things. The amount of decision making going on in any 1 second engagements in this, whereas like again something like golf is slow, honestly, and I'm sure it's its own strategy to like how you approach it. I really don't know much about golf, but it's not fast paced at all. So like when you have those sort of slower golf claps, it makes sense. It really matches the situation. But StarCraft 2 oftentimes is really fast paced, and a slow celebration just it doesn't fit in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I've been at the WCS Season 3 finals in Toronto in 2013, and the crowd was so energetic for nothing and everything, and that was really, really fun to be part of. But then again, like on the other end, like Morrow says, small crowds are a little bit weird. But yeah, I mean, guys, we covered everything. Sorry if I didn't get to your question, or if it wasn't, if we already talked about it previously in the show. I want to give a big thanks to Rifkin, Morrow, and NaNiwa for coming on. We'll do the shoutouts, and then we'll be on our way. So, Morrow, what are you up to next? Where can we find you? Do you have anything interesting to share to us about?
Not a lot, since I did wrap up my tournaments that I did have plans. So what's coming up for me is basically just go back to usual streaming at Twitch TV/Morrow.
Nice.
I'll probably start streaming again
With a
following
potato.
day here. I didn't do it today because I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule. But yeah, I should get back to about 6 hours of streaming every day.
Nice. Okay, cool. What about you, Rifkin? What are you up to next?
We have something really cool coming up on June 2nd. I can't officially announce it, but some people already did the math and pieced it all together. So June 2nd, seriously, mark that day on your calendar, like all day on your...
Sorry, you were lagging. Is that all?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, June 2nd, guys. Hi.
You said something funny and then it cut off and then you were laughing and nobody was laughing.
Yeah, we're sorry, Riff.
Basically, I can't talk about it publicly,
It's,
but some people already solved the
So, like the
mystery.
3 years anniversary for Bay Street TV?
Nope.
That poker face. Oh, he's so good at it too. All right, what about you, NaNiwa?
Pretty much the same as Morrow. Fix my sleep schedule today. Going to bed soon so I can stream for a more standard European time, I suppose you can call it. Morrow has been preaching to me a lot about it, saying that having many viewers is apparently important. So I'm gonna check that out. And then I will also be back streaming tomorrow as soon as I wake up and eat.
So what's your ideal streaming schedule then?
Basically
It
stream
doesn't-
whenever I stream. You see, like I'm fixing my sleep schedule. Yesterday, NaNiwa was like talking about, oh, I'm gonna stream during the night. Everyone is so hyped about the night. I got so many donations. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fix my sleep schedule. And now I'm hearing about this. Oh, NaNiwa is fixing his sleep schedule too. I see. I see how it is. All right.
I had no clue that you were fixing your sleep schedule.
Yeah. Okay.
Morrow, I got it. All right. Here's what you do. You announce the thing. You're gonna have a huge day. 24-hour stream even. You get online for about an hour and watch NaNiwa match it. But then you go offline, go to sleep. Schedule's fucked, and he can't keep up with you.
Oh.
Okay, but Morrow, you have to remember one thing. We don't have the same audience. It's not the same people too.
Because you already stole them all? Is that what you say?
No, you said that the last time we were on this show.
You're gonna take Jerks and 3D GLaDOS away from me. Don't leave me, guys!
GLaDOS and Yorick, you're very welcome on my stream.
Don't leave me! Remember the team! We're a team,
Guys, it's time for a new church. You're all welcome.
man!
Yes,
All right.
good times, good times.
Yeah. But so what's your ideal stream schedule, NaNiwa? Do you have anything in mind?
I heard that 6 to 12 apparently by Morrow is the best one. So I'm gonna try to do like 8 to like 2 or 3, I think, around that. So now you know Morrow, you can plan accordingly if it bothers you a lot. But yes. Actually, funny story. I was gonna stream a lot earlier, but then Morrow said, if you stream, our friendship is over.
Yeah, that was when he was gonna start streaming again, basically. A couple of months ago.
So I respected that.
For a little while.
Yeah.
But then you said
I
fuck
mean,
it.
he gave me like 1 month, so we're all good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you again, guys, for coming on the show. If you guys want to come ask questions, you can check out our Patreon. I don't think anyone today wanted to ask a question, but maybe in a future episode we'll have that. Big thanks to my sponsor, Corsair, Cheers for Gaming, G2A, and Asus. Yeah. You're such a good wingman, Rifkin. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching the show. The VODs will be up on YouTube very soon. On Liquipedia, the MP3 is going to be up tomorrow. It's going to be posted on Reddit. I love you all, and we'll see you guys next week.